Hey, thanks so much for coming. Let me tell you why we're here. I'm Walter Hang, and I'm with Toxics Targeting. And so, Maurice Hinchey, as you may know, for many years was an assembly representative, but more importantly, he was head of the Environmental Conservation Committee in the Assembly. And this was an era when the Assembly ENCON Committee was one of the most renowned legislative entities anywhere in the country, and they were passing landmark legislation right and left. So Maurice was being envisioned as a lieutenant governor, as a U.S. senator, because of the very powerful legislation that the Assembly was adopting to protect drinking water, to clean up toxic dumps, to set rigorous regulatory requirements. And who was one of his best friends on the ENCON committee, his long-standing colleague? It was Alexander Pete Grannis, the current DEC commissioner. So Maurice Hinchey knows the secret handshake with Commissioner Grannis. He knows David Patterson for many years. And the problem is he has done almost nothing to try to persuade state authorities that the draft supplemental generic environmental impact statement is so inadequate that it should be withdrawn. He has essentially refused to put himself on the line and to go talk to his colleague for many, many years and just say, Pete, this draft is not ready for prime time. It's received withering criticism. The EPA says it has fundamental flaws. They say all these concerns have to be addressed before the secret process is complete. I mean, it couldn't be any plainer that he needs to step up and do something, but he's refused. Why? Because he has said we, quote, have to drill. So, on the one hand, he wants the natural gas. On the other hand, he's basically said, well, we need to go slow. We need to protect the New York City drinking water reservoir system. But what about the rest of us, in his district, which includes Binghamton? He really is not doing what he should be doing, which is communicating with Judith Hank, the EPA Region 2 administrator, who he's known for 30 years. He isn't really leading the fight. So when people see him speak at the EPA hearing, they think this guy is an environmental champion. But really, he has not done nearly anything on the order of what he's capable of. And that's why we're here, to tell Maurice Hinchey, we really need you. You know that this draft supplemental generic environmental impact statement is inadequate. Step up. Don't hide. Don't hang back. Lead. You know that this regulatory authority needs to be improved. It's plain as day. And for President Clinton, who is here visiting Binghamton, that's a wonderful thing. But again, he has to understand it's one thing to support green jobs, but not at the cost of the public health and the environment. So we urge him to get educated about the concerns that have been voiced about this. And that's why we're here too, to let them know that when people go into this very important meeting, that they understand that this is a critical issue. We're getting down to the wire here. A year ago, no one would have thought that we would be delaying hydrofracking for this long, but we have. It's not at all clear when it's going to happen. As long as no final supplemental generic environmental impact statement is adopted this year, 2010, that means that the next governor is going to have to deal with this issue. The moment his hand is lifted from the Bible, we're going to make that a pinnacle issue. So all of you have really helped, and it's great that we have another event here in Binghamton to let the powers that be know that we're watching them each and every day. Hinchey has a very competitive race. They're all running scared. They're all counting on each and every vote, and that's why we're here. To let Hinchey know that if he wants your votes, you're his constituents, he better deliver. He better go and slay the dragon. Kill the draft supplemental generic environmental impact statement. That's our message to Hinchey. And President Clinton, thanks for coming to Binghamton. Thanks for supporting green jobs. But again, not at the expense of the environment and the public health. Thank you.